Today we're going to learn how to add and subtract selections using the magnetic lasso and a few of the other selection methods at our disposal so that we're going to create a composite featuring you and a celebrity of your choice. So here we've got Lucy with Leo, we've got Talia with that guy from Prison Break and a Supermax, we've got Justin Bieber and a few fans, and we've got Emily with Hamilton. All right, so what's the first thing that we're going to need to do? We're going to need to find a background, and to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to download and open this blank in our image because this is going to be the sort of the base image, the canvas of our project today. And then we're going to find a background. So today we're going to use that image of Jasper that you saw a second ago, and I'm going to illustrate two examples of MetLife Stadium and why we want to get high-res images. So I'm going to jump to that blank image. I'm going to press Command V. So now when we press Command T, and if you click this little paperclip that I call it, it's going to keep it proportional. So I'm going to drag the corners and I'm going to press check. And I notice that it's a little bit fuzzy, right? The resolution is really compromised when you take an image and then you make it bigger. Whereas if I right click and I'm going to select copy image, return to Photoshop, Command V to paste, you'll notice that when again we click this little paperclip, and you'll notice that the width and the height are linked, right? And they're keeping proportional. Because this image is it's a bigger image, it's going to be of higher quality, and ultimately it's going to look a lot better. Great. So now what we need to do is we need to find Jasper. Here we go. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So we're going to be using the magnetic lasso, and I can see that we've got a number of options at the top. If I highlight and hover, this is going to give us the new selection. So when I'm using the magnetic lasso and I'm clicking and I'm dragging, just like we did yesterday, each time I click and drag, it creates a new selection, right? Command D to deselect, great. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding selections and we're going to be subtracting selections as we go through and create this selection of Jasper, and you'll see what I mean in a minute and why it really comes in so handy. All right. All right, I'm just going along the edge, and actually I'm just going to cut across his pants right there. I'm going to seal it up. Beautiful. And so now we've got a little bit of a selection. I'm now going to get the rest of his pants, his shoes, and I'm going to make sure that new selection, or add selection rather, is highlighted, not new selection. Because when we add to this selection, we can just continue with the work that we've already done, the selection that was already there. Left clicking to put down bounding boxes. Great. And so now when I zoom out a little bit, I can see a few things. I noticed that, for example, right there, there's a little bit of green selected, right? So if I press Command C to copy and I press Command V, I can see that there's a little bit of green right there, there's some green right there and there. We don't want that. I also know that I missed a few spots, right? So, for example, there, maybe in his pants, we need to really fix this selection. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to switch from add to subtract from. We want to get rid of some of the selection. So I'm going to go along the edge and I'm going to get rid of that green right there. I'm going to right click. I'm going to select the polygonal lasso. I'm going to click subtract from selection, and I'm getting this little area of green right there. Likewise, I'm going in and I'm getting this little green. And if I zoom out a little bit and scroll down, I can see that we've got some green right there. So I'm using the polygonal lasso. I'm subtracting from the selection, and great. So this is looking significantly better than it was before. I can see that we didn't get all his pants. Let's add to the selection. Great. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to press Command C to copy. We're going to go to that blank image. I'm going to press Command V. Beautiful. And let's grab out Eli. Here we've got Eli. I'm going to hold Shift this time rather than clicking that little link. All right. Okay. So Jasper is super excited about hanging out with Eli. And the one thing that would really make this perfect is if maybe Jasper was holding a football as well. So how are we going to do that? That's a great question. I'm going to grab the magnetic lasso. We're going to make a selection pretty quickly. And I'm going to go back by pressing delete. and you'll notice that this is a little bit finicky. That's okay. I'm going to press Command C, Command V. Great. I'm going to press Command T to reduce the size. I'm going to shift this up a little bit, and let's say that football looks pretty good right there. Great. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in, and this doesn't look super realistic, right? So how are we going to get it so it seems like Jasper's actually holding or cradling this football? I'm going to go into the Layers palette, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the opacity down to 50% by pressing 5, and I can see that, this football is a little bit big, but we can sort of exaggerate it for the purposes of this tutorial. Great. So I can see exactly where it is. What we're going to do is we're going to create a selection and copy over his arm and then paste it above the uh, the football. What exactly do I mean? Well, I'm going to click Add to Selection. I'm going to go along the edge, and I'm just getting his forearm, his thumb, his hand right there. And then I can go down as far as I want. It really doesn't matter because this football is not going to extend that far. Great. So I've got the selection. I'm going to press Command C, Command V. And now I know that here we've got this like floating arm. And I know you're thinking, Droz, that's weird. Why did you do that? Well, let's bring back this football. I'm going to reduce the opacity from 50 to 100%. I'm sorry, increase it from 50 to 100. I'm going to grab his arm. And it's layer 6. I'm going to label it arm. Great. And I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it up. And now all of a sudden, that football is sort of tucked right on in there, right? Nice. This looks pretty cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited about seeing what you produce yourself with a celebrity of your choice.